first million gambling, basically he had this system where he would just double up until he hit something.
Right.
So he was selling his paintings at like local galleries for $200.
That's the shit I bet on.
Yeah, crazy shit.
You remember?
You go to Vegas a lot, right? You live in Vegas.
You live
Oh
in
yeah. So
Vegas.
can I tell you what happened?
Are you a big gambler?
I gamble with my life.
All right. Here's what I know about David. Is this true?
Wait.
Now, forget the Facebook for a second.
Okay.
We'll get back to it.
All right.
Early on in your life,
Right.
you made your first $1 million by going to Vegas,
Right.
and betting some crazy amount of money and kept doubling and doubling and doubling until you made $1 million.
That's not necessarily true either, but yeah, my first $1 million I made in Vegas from gambling.
From gambling. What
gambling.
type of gambling? Blackjack or
It
craps?
doesn't matter. Any.
Not
You
roulette.
do it all?
I started gambling when I was 15.
Yeah.
Like my friend Joey came back from he got his driver's permit. I live in LA. He drove back 4 hours. He's like, there's this place in the desert, and you play games, and if you win the money, they let you keep it. And
By the way, I should tell people before we continue this discussion. How did you get the money to gamble in Vegas for that initial $1 million?
I gambled with everything always. Fortune favors the bold. Like I would gamble my entire 2 months salary from Toys R Us, delivering pizzas, anything.
Are you a degenerate gambler? Do you have a problem?
From age 15 to 23, I lost every single time.
Right. So you are a degenerate gambler.
Definitely, but
You just love it.
But I'm 35 now.
Yeah.
From 23 to 35, I've lost 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
But when you say lost 3 times, you mean actually gone and lost money?
And
Everything.
left. No. Just left under.
Okay.
Are we going to worry that you're going to gamble away your $140 million, $200 million? I mean, could you potentially start putting down $40,000, $50,000 a bet?
Like go and break Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, or just go berserk and break yourself.
Let me tell you, the whole gambling thing. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that shit. So
You ought to start.
so,
Keep your money.
You like girls, though, right?
so I go out and I do graffiti and I gamble and I do shit that's like crazy, and
You live on the edge.
but it's not everyone that knows me that from the outside is like that guy's crazy, but you can't fucking okay, so when I was 23, I lost all my money, which was not that much money at the time, but my whole world.
Because what
Yeah.
were you, like a pizza delivery guy, and were you just doing menial kind of work?
I was just doing every fucking shitty job you can think of.
Right.
And I was hitchhiking back from Vegas because I lost everything. And I got in a fight with my girlfriend at the time. She scratched my chest up. She was like getting back in the car. I was like, fuck off. And we're in New York right now. What's the saying? New York's the city with a million stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Las Vegas is a story with one story.
Yeah.
I was winning, and then I lost it all.
Right.
So everyone has that story, and I'm sitting in the fucking desert walking back going, there is that part of the story that goes, I was winning. So then what is the I lost, because it's a vice.
It seems like everybody, even when you're up, you think you're going to score
You got to
more.
have more.
So
no one
that-
knows when to stop, is your point.
Exactly, and
Right.
it's greed. And
Right.
I was like, what is, okay, no more of this bullshit. Like my story's gonna be, I was winning, and then I won more, and then that's it. There's gonna be no, and then I lost it all. And so I said, if I can fuck a girl and pull my dick out before I explode,
Yeah.
I was like, then I'm gonna train myself to be I'm giving you some insight into my shit, man. I'm like,
Hey, go ahead, bro.
and
I'm
even
learning.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the one sitting there with all that money, so we're listening.
This might make
I like your honesty. Go back to the first time you went to. So after you were a loser in Vegas, how did you become a winner? You became aware of a philosophy that.
So the money increment can change, and that's basically how I got to the million. But basically, it's progressive, which you can get any Vegas book, and it's a combination of hit and run style, which is as soon as you win anything, you get out.
Clarify something.
Okay.
You went back to Vegas. You had saved up some money. You didn't have a lot of money. What would you say you went back to Vegas with? 10 grand?
No. This is like a $500 or something.
$500. You go back and you say, now I'm going to make some money.
Right.
I'm never going to be a loser again.
Okay.
When I'm up, I'm going to stay up, and that's it.
So what I'm gonna explain to you sounds like so stupid and easy, but you have to have the discipline. You got to play like a goddamn robot.
All right.
So you bet $10.
Right.
You lose the $10, you bet $20.
Right.
You lose the $20, you basically every game in the casino is about 50-50, right?
Right.
So the chances of you losing 30, 40, 50 times in a row, that's not going to happen that often. So as long as you just keep throwing your dick down on the table and be doubling up, as soon as you win money, you just go upstairs and you put it away. you're not trying to win like $1 million all at once.
Right.
If Las Vegas is Goliath, then you're just trying to take little
So
scratches.
you go there, you bet 10, you bet 20, you bet 30. All of a sudden, you make your $50 bet. It hits.
It hits.
So now you won $50. I go back up to my room?
No. Now you're even.
Right.
Now you're even. Or you basically just, every time you win anything,
Right.
you just store it up in the room. And also, I pay someone to make sure I play the way I'm supposed to, so I don't lose my mind.
All right, so let's say that first night you win $200. You take
Right.
the $200 and you bank it. You put it back in your
Right.
safe or whatever.
And I
in the room.
never stay more than 72 hours.
Right.
I take it, and well, now that rule's changed, but I take it and I bounce. And then,
What's the new rule?
New rule is you got about $100, $200 million. He's going to stay there until he loses it all.
So then, for a long time there, I would go to Vegas 4 times a month.
Right.
And I would always make somewhere in the range of $1,000,
Right.
$800 sometimes, $1,100 sometimes, and it just dawned on me that, fuck, I don't need to sell this painting. You know,
Right.
I don't need to whore myself out and do all these like weird jobs. I'm like, I can make a living gambling if I don't get greedy.
Right.
You know, and that was my base. I was like, $1,000, I could live off this. You know, my standard of living is like subterranean. Like,
You're a fascinating guy. When you went to Vegas and you made the million, you kept putting the money aside and this
Right.
and that. At the same time, you actually racked up $1 million in winnings as you kept banking and banking and banking every time you
right.
won.
Which, okay, so
What was your biggest score? Like you go to Vegas and win blah, blah, blah in one shot.
that time, well, it wasn't like at 30 I went one time and won the million. It was over that
Right.
whole year. So that time,
In a year, you made $1 million.
in 1 year, I had made $1 million.
From 500, you went to $1 million.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's like a drug. Like at some point, 1,000 doesn't
And
do
at
it
the
for
same
me.
time, once you have $1 million,
Right.
do you say, hey, I'm going to charge a fortune for my painting because I don't really need to.
I bet on the fucking blue Gatorade, Robin. I doubled down on 18, man.
Wow.
I said, give me the 3.
What's the most you ever won in a gambling situation?
So, like, every time I go to Vegas now, you know how, like, last time I said every time I had to win at least around 1,000?
Yeah.
Now it has to be at least around 200,000-300,000.
Wow.
What?
do you bet at a time?
My max bet, when you go in, here's the thing, it's like, oh, I could show you how to win $100,000 every time,
Okay.
but you got to roll in with $1 million.
I see.
You know, like,
So do you roll in with $1 million? What do you bet? What do you bet
roll
each
in
time?
with $1 million. The casino lets you max bet 60,000.
Right.
That's your ceiling.
Yeah.
So you start low and then you just keep like taking little scratches out. You
And
know.
you're telling me you've only lost 3 times in your life.
And those 3 times they were female related.
Hmm.
I don't fucking gamble with women. They don't sit next to me. I don't believe in lady luck.
You got to keep your
I don't
focus.
I don't do any of that shit. You know.
Right. But in other words, you lose focus when you're sitting there with a woman.